Encounter is brought to you by the Durham County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Durham County Council of Churches.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to Encounter with Durham County Council of Churches, courtesy of WBNG. Today, we're talking about a very interesting topic, but one that most people often overlook. We're talking about beauty transformation. Some people say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, but what does it really take to get to that beauty? So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the beauty. We have today with us Rashuna Durham from Shuana's Hairstudio. She is a transformation expert, and we're going to really get into this today and really talk about how we can overcome those issues of beauty, insecurity, boost our self-esteem with destination transformation. How are you today, Shuana?
I'm good. How are you, Talia?
I'm awesome. Shuana, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Rashuna Durham. I am owner and operator of Shuana's Hairstudio on Clinton Street, Antique Row in Binghamton. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for the last 18 years, and I've owned my own salon for the last 10. I'm a mother of 4 beautiful babies, 2 boys, 2 girls. I'm married to a wonderful husband. And yeah, just a part of the community.
That's awesome. So you've been in the community for a while. What really made you want to get into beauty and hair care? What inspired you to get into this field?
Well, I have always loved beauty and hair and all that it encompasses. I've always loved that from a little girl. So I moved here in high school, and I actually was going to graduate a little early, and I had a counselor who said to me, why don't you, who does your hair? You always look so nice. And I was like, oh, I do, because she knew that I just love to do all those kind of things. And so she told me that since I had so much time in my schedule, that they had a program at our local BOCES where they would pay for me to go to cosmetology school. And I thought that it would be a great way for me to have my license before I graduated and go off to college, because that would help me pay for college. So I went to a cosmetology school at BOCES and graduated. I actually got my license before I graduated by my senior year. And then afterwards, I moved away and then came back and became a part and just stayed in the community. And I really love the fact that people could come in feeling one way and leave in another. It's that total transformation that just really, I was really drawn to. I just really love being able to help people see the beauty within themselves. And sometimes it takes a little bit of pulling out, and I love to be a part of that and to be a catalyst for that.
Amazing. So what do you believe is the most important thing that people need to do to keep up with their beauty regimen? What are some things that people may want to get into?
Well, just really taking care of themselves. That's what it's really about, is taking care of themselves. People see it as, oh, if I go to the hair salon, it's for a special occasion, or, I want to get dolled up for a special occasion. And it's, it goes back to even, saying, oh, I'll save that dress for a good time, or I'm going to wear those nice shoes when, I have something for. But life is a special occasion all in itself. So we need to make sure that we're putting our time and our effort into ourselves. So going to the hair salon, taking care of our hair, taking care of our outer appearance will help take care of our inner self as well. It's all connected. Our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being all goes hand in hand. It's all tied together. So just taking the time out is the best, and taking care of yourself and doing those little things for yourself is the best beauty regimen you can have.
Mm-hmm. And some people really don't think that that's a priority or something that they really should pay attention to. And a lot of people just lose themselves in life and lose themselves in jobs and work and kids and family. And so, for the average mother, she maybe have 10, 15 minutes to even do something like that. And, her focus is, how can I make my family's life the best? when she really should be saying, how can I take care of myself so that my family can be the best they can be?
That is the absolute truth. Me being a mother of 4 myself and little ones, my oldest is 14 and my youngest it just turned 4. So I totally agree with that. And it's all about, I say, you can't pour from an empty cup. So unless you are the best version of you, you can't give to anybody else. You can, to be the best mother, to be the best wife, to be the best friend, you have to take care of yourself. So even if that is, if you have that extra 10 minutes in the morning to trying to get up and just brush your hair a little certain way, fill in those eyebrows and add a little lipstick, that can give you the added confidence to kind of brave the day and get through and kind of be the best version of you that you can be. So those things are very important. A lot of the times, like you said, especially as mothers, we tend to kind of put ourselves on the back burner, and that's so unfortunate, you know, and then we get tired and you can see it. So it, again, it all ties back around, because then it's, you know, we physically, and then you hear, oh my goodness, girl, you are a great mom, but you look tired. Are you okay? And that is like the dreaded thing. Nobody wants to hear that, right? Like, I look tired. That's not a compliment. A little concealer can help that, you know? And so just take it, and it's important for us to just kind of take that time out for ourselves. So even if it is that extra little 10 minutes in the morning, just to kind of say, okay, I'm going to put that into me. I'm going to just, so that way when I look in the mirror, I like what I see. And when you can say that, that kind of helps get that ball rolling.
It's like a self-investment.
It is.
It's like a 401k for yourself.
Exactly.
Well, a lot of people do get involved with these things, and a lot of people do keep maintenance on a regular basis. But what are some things that people often neglect when it comes to their beauty regimens, or even thinking about things that they need to do for themselves to keep themselves up? What do people often just completely miss?
Themselves in general, as a whole. A lot of times I come in counsel with people who tend to just kind of neglect themselves as in total. And it's kind of like, oh, I'm just going to put my hair up in a ponytail and just kind of throw it up. Or, you know, I'm not going to put on any makeup. It's not about needing makeup. It's about just kind of giving yourself that extra added oomph. You know, so sometimes we neglect that. We neglect ourselves, and we don't see it as neglecting ourselves. We see it as, oh, that's not a priority. But in turn, we're saying we're not ourselves, that we're not a priority. And that's a mindset that we have to change. We have to change that to kind of say, I'm a priority. I'm going to take this time out for me. I'm going to put some time into my hair. I'm going to put some time into my makeup. I'm going to dress a little bit nicer today. I'm not just going to throw on the first thing that I can see that doesn't need to be ironed. And don't get me wrong, we all do it, because I do it as well. But I make sure I make myself a priority, so that way I can be the best version of me.
Now, you've seen a lot of different clients over the course of even creating beauty and health transformations. Maybe talk about a client that was maybe completely neglected themselves, or literally could not look themselves in the mirror, or what was their experience like? Because everyone has a point where they can get moving and can get going with themselves, but there are people who literally don't want to even face those things, face those issues, have insecurities. So maybe expound on that a little bit.
So in our business, I deal with that a lot, actually. You know, it's funny, my clients will say, well, you're a cheaper version of therapy. So I had a client, one that really sticks out in my mind. She gave us a call, and she had said that she had she had surgery, and it ended up going into a very deep depression. And so she stopped combing her hair. And at first it was just a couple weeks turned into a couple months turned into almost a year and a half of her not taking care of herself at all. And because of her physical appearance, she then did not want to go outside. She didn't want to be seen in public. So because of all of that, it just kind of all snowballed. So she called us and said that she was ready for that change, but she was very nervous about it. It was very scary. She had called around to a lot of people to try to talk to them about getting the snot out of her hair, because it was so matted, and her hair was really long, beautiful long hair, and now she couldn't even recognize herself. So she said, you know, this was kind of her last option, but she had waited so long because she didn't want to go outside and she didn't want to be seen in the salon because she was embarrassed. So I told her, I said, okay, let's come up with a plan. Let's close the salon down. I'll have you come in and we could kind of see where we can go. She came in. We spent about 5 to 6 hours with her, talking and just kind of getting through what she needed to get through. And so she kind of got through some things emotionally and also physically. We were able to kind of get all of the knot out of her hair. She did not even recognize herself when we turned into the mirror. She started crying, which in turn made me cry. But she was just so grateful because she said this was the beginning. This was the first step for her to kind of come out of that. And it was a very gratifying and blessed experience for me to kind of help be that vessel for her to kind of get the ball rolling and come out of that depression. That's a severe case, but I have it every day. I have women that come in and just say, you know what, like, it's just so hard. Like, I look at myself, I've aged. I don't like the way, I'm looking anymore. I don't look the way I used to look. I have women that come in and just say, I've taken care of everybody else and I've forgotten about who I am. I've forgotten me. And now they're coming to get that change, to get that started. So again, it's a physical change, but it's that physical transformation that begins the spiritual transformation, that begins the mental transformation. It all goes hand in hand. Mm-hmm. And that's why the slogan for my salon is Shuana's Hairstudio, where your transformation begins, because it's just the beginning. The physical is just the beginning, but it helps with everything else to kind of get everything else going.
Mm-hmm. It says in the Word of God that we should love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And I think that most people take that in context and say, well, let me just love my neighbor. And if I just love my neighbor, then I don't have to worry about myself. I'm taking care of myself because I'm taking care of my neighbor. But, we that spiritual transformation as well, that God sees the beauty from the inside as well as the outside. And I think that sometimes our insides are hurting, our insides are, skewed or whatever the case may be, and that inner beauty has to take root. And that's where God has said, well, I want to plant seeds in you. Those seeds are you going to get your hair done, you going to get your nails done, you going to get your makeup done. Because if I show you your beauty on the outside, exactly, I can work my love and my compassion with you on the inside.
Exactly.
And so just reminding our friends and our viewers out there, we are with Transformation Stylist with Shuana Durham, and we're talking about a destination transformation, that your life begins on the inside and outside, just dealing with your beauty, dealing with your self-esteem, dealing with knowing that you are worthy, and that there's so many things that you could be doing for other people, but if you take care of yourself, you will take care of everything else around you even more significantly. And so I just want to just switch up a little bit, just to talk about our youth. I know you said you have 4 children. Do you have girls, boys?
So I have 2 boys, 2 girls. My oldest son is 14. And then I have a 9-year-old son, a 6-year-old daughter, and a 4-year-old daughter.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So how has your line of work transformed even your little girls?
Oh my goodness. First of all, they are so girly, like extremely girly, and so mom owns a salon. So of course it's like, oh, I want to look like mom, or I want to, make myself pretty. But it's just to build up their confidence. I feel like, especially with my girls, they have very curly hair, and I find it very important to constantly push into them that their standard of beauty is their beauty, because there's so many outside influences that kind of come in. It's like, oh, you have to look like this, or to be like this, and that pressure to fit in. And you'll be surprised, even at 6 years old, my daughter's only in kindergarten, and she hears that all the time. So I'm constantly putting that into her, like, oh, she comes into the salon and she sees there's so many different women that come in and they're beautiful all in their own right. And so constantly putting that into her. And our youth in general, I deal with a lot of teenagers, and I try to mentor teenage girls especially, so they don't have to feel like what they see on TV is their standard of beauty. Mm-hmm. To kind of help them come into their own identity and figure out what it is that what they need to be and how they need to be, and what their standard of beauty is themselves.
Wow. Now, when you deal with teen girls, are you encountering the same insecurities with beauty as you would in a female adult or anyone else?
Surprisingly, yes. And if it's not dealt with from younger, it translates all the way into adulthood. I give makeup classes. And so what it is, we have a day, you buy tickets and you come in and we sit down and I teach you how to go from just plain Jane to the glamorous and just your everyday look in between. And I have girls that are teenage girls that have never worn makeup before, and they're coming into the class and they're learning how to do age-appropriate makeup. And I actually also have women that are in their 50s, 60s years old. I even had a 70-year-old woman at a class before last come in, and she said, I've always wanted to do this, but I never found time. And then growing up, I was told, oh, you don't need it. So I never did it. And it was something that I wanted to do just for myself, but I just never did it. And then I had kids, and then I just never had time to do it. She goes, so this alone, just being here, learning simple little makeup tricks, it has really opened my eyes to so much. And so I feel like if you don't even deal with like certain things, or it's those insecurities that you kind of grow up with, and then they translate all the way into adulthood. So it's very important for us to talk about that, and just to know that it's okay for us to put that time into ourselves. And beauty, it's not like, oh, if I put some extra time into my hair and makeup, then that makes me, conceited, or it's not. That's not it at all. It's putting that time into yourself, making yourself a priority. We tend to feel like it's selfish, and selfish gets such a bad connotation when you hear it, but it's okay to be a little selfish, because selfish is also self-care, and we have to do that. And in this world with everything coming at us nonstop, self-care is so important.
I mean, just with so many things going on and so many things that we have to worry about, I mean, we do neglect a lot of the things on those levels. And so I could see that someone who maybe didn't grow up with a health regimen or a beauty regimen, and they have girls or they have children, that neglect could possibly roll down the line.
It
you
does.
Know what I mean?
It rolls onto them, and then onto their children, and so forth and so forth. I was raised by my grandmother, and she is originally from the South, and so she was like the epitome of, make sure you go outside. It's not only about your physical. You have to have a good heart, and but the first thing that people see is the physical you. And they're gonna judge you automatically before they can even talk to you. They're gonna see that. So make sure you keep yourself up, because that just goes to show that you care about yourself. You care enough about yourself to just kind of keep yourself up physically as well. So we were always taught to know, comb your hair, make sure your hair is combed, and put on a little lip gloss, and if you're going outside, make sure that you lotioned up, wear some earrings, and it just makes you feel good, because when we look good, we do feel good.
That is so amazing. And just on the premise of beauty is not vanity. You have to definitely separate the two.
Yes.
If you're taking care of yourself, you deserve that. You have to make sure that you understand that it's not vain in order to be beautiful, or it's not vain to want to spend time, taking care of yourself. And so many people neglect that because they think that I don't deserve it, I'm not worthy of it, I can't afford it, for so many different reasons, excuses. And also they say if you either you're going to make it an excuse, or you're going to make a way, just depending on what you want. So there are things out there that you can get involved with that are affordable for you. Get involved with it, do it. And because it won't, at the end of the day, if you feel good about